Okay, and it's just a few questions. So we're gonna have this little Q&A kind of a thing, and then we're going to get to it. What are zines, and how did you get into zine making?
So, Google says basically zines are a small, self-published work of original like artwork, text, images, all those good things. They can come in different sizes. Like I have like the super small one right here, and then
Yes.
I have a like bigger one right here. Some
Mhm.
people like make like magazine size zines, so it kind of can be like whatever you're feeling, whatever you want to go with. And that's kind of one of the reasons I love zines so much. And how did I get into zine making? So, like I said, I've been a poet for years and years, and honestly, I had been wanting to make a zine for like 4 years. Like I was like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I have all these poems,
Mhm.
like I have people who like reading them, who want like physical copies of them. Like I'm gonna
Mhm.
do it. And like this imposter syndrome, I feel like, and also like I don't know, like the state of the world. I was moving a lot. I was literally raising like my youngest sibling. Like I had a lot of shit going on. But this past, I think like 2 years ago, one of my friends that owns a shop in Asheville, they basically every 6 months or so they do like an artist ask because their shop is like all queer owned stuff. And I like submitted my poetry, like, this is probably not gonna be picked,
Mhm.
but might as well. And it did
Mhm.
get picked. And so they
Mhm.
basically paid me to make like 50 copies of my zine.
Nice, nice.
So just having the motivation and having like support systems is really what got me like actually able to make the physical zines. Just that, sometimes you just need that little push, that little kick in the
Mhm.
butt.
And so to follow up with that, does that mean that's what got you really excited about really kicking off and really taking it kind of serious, in quotes, you know?
I think, yeah, I think knowing, I would have a place to put all of these zines that I made, really helped kind of squash that imposter syndrome. Because
Mhm.
for me, like, I do want my poems to be out there. Like, I do
Mhm.
want black and trans kinky fuckers in the middle of like rural North Carolina to know that they're not the only ones. That, like you
Exactly.
said before, like kink is for us too. Um,
Mhm.
and so like that was also a really huge motivator in like me getting my poetry into like a physical zine format.
Okay, so then you kind of answered some of my next question about what keeps you or what gets you motivated. Because, sometimes as artists, I know myself, like I work a 9 to 5, so I'm on that plantation, baby. I'm, like I'm working 9 to 5. I come home, I do BLX stuff, I'm trying to raise money, write grants, and these kinds of things. And sometimes I don't feel motivated to do art. So how do you, I don't know, get the juices flowing?
Funny that you say it like that because honestly, yeah, my constant horniness is a big motivator.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like whenever, especially when you have like that super spicy, fiery ass scene, like one of my first instincts or like one of the ways that I decompress is writing about it.
Mm.
One of my favorite poems is a poem about a scene where my lady beat me with a book, and just being able to write a poem about being beaten by a book, there's just some kind of like beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh, it so is. Oh, it so is. And, it's interesting that you say that off to a tangent a little bit. There used to be, I think back in the Tumblr days, I worked for the library. I worked for the New York Public Library. And so there is a lot there used to be a lot of like stories or fan fiction written about the library and having sex in the library around books and stuff. I was like, what is going on? But I get it. so,
I get it.
I know you were hit with the book. Um,
And like other artists are always inspiring me and motivating me as well. Some I love just like going through the Carter Johnson libraries, like Facebook pages, or like sometimes they'll have like YouTube videos, like just
Mhm.
going through the space. That's super super inspiring. Um, Pup star Orion just recently, he's like another trans pup, and he recently put out a bunch of zines, and those have been super inspiring to read. Um, and yeah, going anywhere that I can find other like assortments of zines. Sometimes like small like local bookstores will have them. Sometimes libraries will have them, depending on like where you
Mhm.
are. But yeah, just reading other people's work is like truly inspiring, and like seeing how it's making me feel, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Mhm. It does. Hmm. I was gonna say my next question was how do you come up with your ideas for your art? But I guess being hit with a book. Wait a minute, here's a real question. What was the name of the book? You know I'm a library person. I'm like, what was the
Oh
name of the book?
God.
And I know it had to be hardcover, but maybe not because your lady may do a paperback because, as tops.
She wasn't holding back. Let me see. I know it was a lesbian book. I want to say it was Sylvia Plath's like collection of like
Oh,
stories and
oh,
poetry or
okay.
something.
Okay.
Yeah, it was something
Sounds
gay.
good.
It was either
This,
that
this,
or
this-
her to love, to obey, or serve. It was one of the two. I know it was some super gay.
so you went from Mama Vi's book to Sylvia Plath. Okay,
And my eyes, they're both hella gay.
it's fine.
And those were like the assignments that she had me read around that time. So I know it was one of those two. I just can't. Okay,
Okay.
take it out the book.
Does anybody else have any questions for the shenanigans? Because I can feel it happening between us. Does anybody have questions? You can put it in the chat if you want to, because that's most of my questions. As you can see wait, next to my strawberries with my tahine, I have down here some zines that I was saying. The library in the South Bronx, the Mott Haven branch, did a exhibit for the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And so they created in their branch like a newspaper stand, right? And so they had like potato chip bags that they made, they had like Skittles, they had churros, they had all this stuff like made in the newspaper stand. And they also had these zines. And when I walked by, I was like, this is great. I'm doing the thing Sunday. So I took some of them just to show what can happen with zines and how zines can be made. This is like a really small one, which I love because it's the Big Apple Bites. This one is about the subway. And this one is actually, I think, my favorite because it's about yarn and I'm a crocheter. And so it has different stores here in New York and pictures of yarn shops. So zines could be poetry, like you were saying. Zine could be around a particular topic like the Big Apple or the Subway or yarn. But I think zines can actually be whatever it is that's inspiring you. I think that for me the main thing is that it's like crafty, like it's made from your own hands. It's not like on a printing press and you're churning them out and churning them out, right? So you can share zines. So I know that there's at one point in the 80s, there used to be a spot in the center where you would like leave zines and people would they would like just leave them around and you had to like know the spots. And you would go and get a zine or leave a zine. It was really nice. I like that kind of like grassroots kind of thing that happens around zines. But anyway, a way to have a question. How do you ensure that your creativity doesn't get stifled by self-criticism or
That's a good one. That's a good one.
ugh.
And before I answer that one, just like back to what you were saying, one of the reasons why I love zines so much is like it can be about literally any topic. Like you said, like it can just be whatever inspires you. I remember one of the first zines that I like really read was like an anarchist zine, about how to hold your friends accountable or how to hold yourself accountable. Um, like I lived in Asheville for a while in North Carolina. It's like a kind of pretty hippy dippy town. And yeah, there were just everybody was making zines about all kinds of stuff,
Mm,
like, how to protest, things to bring to the
mm,
protest, how to stay safe, conflict, management
mm.
skills, just like all kinds of like quick things to read to like get this information where I didn't have to sit there and read like 100-page book.
Right, exactly, right? Oh,
But yeah, how do I ensure that's, I mean, it's definitely like a daily struggle for real, for real. I think one of the biggest ways that I ensure that it doesn't get stifled is like whenever I write a poem, I try to send it to just even just one person. Like even if just one person can see it and like feels a feeling or like I'm just validated by the fact that I sent it honestly out
mhm,
into the
mhm,
world.
mhm,
Um
hmm.
so in that, I kind of dom myself into not being able to be like, you suck, or like have that self-criticism because it's out there now. Like it's already out
Mhm.
there. But I think, yeah, and also just having lots of really supportive friends. Like even when I'm not writing poetry or poems, like my friends will ask, like, when you gonna put out the next zine, when you gonna release the next poem.
Ooh, the pressure, the pressure.
It's pressure, but I love it. I love it. And it like just
Hmm.
reminds me that, the work is necessary. And
Hmm.
I think that especially as Black trans people, the world is trying to stifle us. We gotta uplift each other. We gotta
Mhm.
like keep reminding each other that like our stories are not in the mainstream, and
Mhm.
all we can do is just keep pushing them until they are. Like,
This is true, and you know the world is trying to do that revisionist history, you know,
mm-hmm.
and that's bullshit. So yes, if you find a little zine that is saying something, it is a treasure. It is really like a treasure, because they are trying to anyway. White people are white peopling.
Right.
There's another question. Are there any poems inspired by your kinky dynamic with your lady, capital L?
So I'm not even gonna lie
Are
to
you
y'all.
getting a bit warm? Are you a bit warm? I'm a
I'm not
fan
even gonna
too.
lie to you. So say I've written like 20 poems in the last 2 years. 18 are about her and our dynamic.
Tell us how you really
So
feel.
I am a simp. I can't lie. Like I love writing about her and us and like the things that she does to me and the things that she makes me feel. Like it's gotta go somewhere. It's got all these feelings gotta go somewhere.
You are absolutely right. And on that note, I know you said that you might read some poetry. So do we need to get a bib or something? Are you gonna need a bib? We gonna need a napkin. But with that, I would love to hear some poetry.
Of course.
I'm
I
so
have like
nervous.
a request here. So let me try to find that poem that she's talking about. But yeah, I can read a couple. Um, this is gonna be from I don't really see it. Yeah, there we
Yep.
go.
Yep.
Loud Bears Love Harder, which is like my cute little zine that I have out in the world. It's like a collection of a lot of really kinky poems. Let's see. I'm gonna read. I want to read book club to y'all because I kept talking about it. It's one of my favorites. But another one that I really like, that's about. It's kind of funny, kind of like not super sexy yet. We're gonna build. We're gonna build to that. This poem is called Nut. I feel so much. My heart's about to bust. I want you to taste the nut of my love for you. The fruits of our labor are blooming. Let's savor every drop with you on top.
Oh, so nice.
Oh wait, no, there's more. Sorry.
No, I mean just that right there with the pause, just like savor it a little bit.
Every drop. My heart must embody every inch of my being because I buzz with longing from head to toe. When I see you, I'll sink to my knees, look up, whimper, and do whatever you please. Kind of a main theme going with all these poems.
I'm not mad at it.
And then let me get you on this book club. This is such a every I love reading this because it just brings me back to that scene.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. And thank you for
Perfect
letting
timing.
us into that scene. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course, of course. Yeah, just like close your eyes, or
Yeah, but when
focus
you
on
hit the
your
pause
craft.
with that every drop,
She beats a book into my back. I feel the words fall through the page and seep deep into my skin. Only drool and pathetic puppy sounds can escape through my mouth. I feel her sadistic smile, how pleased my pain makes her. I close my eyes and focus on releasing, on giving her access to every single nerve in my body, opening up in ways I never thought possible. I watch my old boundaries pass by and moan for more. I want to be sore. I want to feel her presence deep in my bones. When I'm home alone, while I wait by the phone, with her boot in bed with me, my favorite nighttime company, she allows me to hammer her. It feels holy, like nailing my goddess to a capital T for T cross. I might be on top, but she's definitely still the boss. I feel like my big dog just gave me her favorite bone, and I'm struggling to lug it around in my tiny jaws. I will do my very best for her. I will do exactly as commanded. Even while she makes me so fucking horny, I can barely stand it. I can't help but giggle, her beautiful bare ass rubbing against my thick clit. I contain my composure and continue, moving my master into contentment, into peace, relaxation, into sleep. I beat, I beat, proving I'll do anything to please. I'll share one more just because I
wait
like
a
that.
minute, calm down. Get some water.
Right, you're right.
Wow. Okay, I think it's coming.
It's so interesting because like sometimes it depends on like what like sometimes I'll do like some readings at places. I do it at open mics and like there's a couple people in the crowd that I feel like get it, you know what I mean? Like they over there like sipping their water, like fanning themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
then some people just like don't really get it. And like it was like the same thing. I went to, I don't know if any of y'all know what Ida is, but it's basically like this encampment kind of queer trans people deep in the woods of Tennessee. And they shared hotbits there, which is like, you know, like the queer and trans like kind of like porn festival. And afterwards I read some of my poems, and bitch, they got it. Everybody there got it. And so I love being in company with people who get it, who feel it, you know?
But but then still, all those that may not get it now, at least I know for myself, sometimes poetry hits me later on. I may not really be feeling it or getting some of it. And then I'll be like daydreaming or whatever. And I'm like, oh, right. Yes. You know what I'm saying? It like comes in waves sometimes. Because, oh, wait a minute. I think sir is leaving. Bye, sir. Thank you so much. And also I think somebody shared lilac. What is it?
Yeah.
Should I
That's
click
my
it?
yeah, that's my princess. She wants me to read this poem for y'all. I want to read it real quick.
Do it.
All right. So this poem actually appears in our contract. It's a very special poem to us. It's kind of it's one of our favorite poems, I think.
Is it a poem that you, oh, and if it's too personal, you don't have to answer. Is it something that came about while you were writing? Wait, I'm sorry, what I'm trying to say. So were there things that led up to the poem being added to the contract?
I think honestly, like when I wrote this, we were like in the middle of making our like second year contract, and she liked it so much she was just like, you're at like this is gonna be there. You're adding this now. So like
And shall it happen? It shall be done. Okay. Mm-hmm.
but I
Hmm.
think that she just likes the way that it kind of encompasses like all of her being, which I definitely appreciate as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is this going to set a precedent where a poem has to be in the contract? Once a top likes something, we're gonna like it forever. We're gonna want it all the time, and then we're not gonna understand how you forgot that we liked it.
You're right. Maybe I'd be totally okay with that. And like also like it's nice to be able to recite this stuff for her like once a week.
Got it.
Uh,
Okay.
So yeah, probably to come. There's gonna be lots of more poems, hopefully.
Okay.
But anyways, I don't think this has a title, but I'm just gonna go in. Strong, fierce, caring, dominant, and daring, feral, horny, hot, soft, and little, laughs a lot, political, with passion overflowing, revolutionary, and ancestral knowing, never ending curves and legs, gold medal winner of all the sex, multifaceted master, keeper of my leash, my magnificent lady, tamer of all beasts. There you go, princess.
So nice. That's nice.
I like to, keep people wet, like in all the places.
Okay. All right. Now, all right. Now you're just showing off, which is nothing wrong with that. That's what we're supposed to do, right? And as artists, you're like doing that thing, right? Making us feel things, making us think about things, making us contemplate. We can't wait to get off this call so that we might be able to do something. Not me. I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. Okay. So would you like to read some more, or are we going to take a moment to do a little downtime to maybe do some art, and or we can continue to have a conversation? I can stop the recording. And if there's any questions that want to be added, so if you want to talk about a topic or anybody wants to talk about a topic, we can. This is kind of like very loose in that kind of a way. It doesn't have to really be about art. It could be about anything that anyone wants to talk about. But I will defer to our artiste unless you want to continue reading poetry. And if you do, I have to go get my vibrator.
Let's see here. I'll read one more, and then we can get into just
Okay.
with our hands here a little bit.
Okay.
This one is called Good Boy. For all my pups in the room, shout out. Yeah, the best. I like to bark, and she likes to bark. So maybe we can bark together. Wondering if that sounds clever enough to have a single solitary chance with the sexiest person in the room, from my view, in the blue. Wish I was swaying in the crowd with you. Why did all of the air suddenly leave this room? My stomach's on brew. Did I tie my shoe? Did I try too soon? The way I'm feeling something new. There you go.
Well, since we're all howling, I will have to.
Let it out. Let it all out.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate the poems, the conversation, the being ordered from the chat, because I love ordering people around, being ordered
Right.
from the chat. I'm gonna stop the recording now so that folks can feel a bit